You're listening to Ignite Your Success, a podcast that inspires fitness professionals to build a strong business that enables them to serve more people and engineer the lifestyle they desire. It's Brad Shepherd here, and together with Jason Ubanowicz, we're best known for running Trainer HQ, a community of passionate and profit-hungry fitness business owners that make a massive difference in others' lives every day. Each episode will unpack for you exactly what's working and deliver best practice strategies so you can confidently grow your business and make a huge impact. It's Brad Shepherd here from Trainer HQ, and you're tuned in to another edition of the Trainer HQ podcast. And today, Jason, we're in the most amazing place. Drum roll. Where are we, brother?
Perth. No, Wollongong.
The Wollongong. Down to the gong.
Down to the gong.
Yeah.
2 years it's been since we've been here.
I know, 2 years. And we're the guest today, really. So we got the very special man sitting right next to us, those who are watching the video, Mr. Carlson Hizon. How you going, brother?
I'm doing very well. Very well.
We're in your hood, in your stomping ground.
Welcome to the gong.
Yeah.
Special event for us. We were excited about this, weren't we?
I know, we're very excited. Especially as we walk in the door, we get showered with lunch.
Yep.
With protein balls that take you half an hour.
Yeah, massive.
A bag full of merchandise. We've got shirts, hats, water bottles, you name it.
And we bought fuck all.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that. That was good.
So, been a good day for us.
Great start.
We're winning. So, big Carlson Hizon, brother, man. It's bloody awesome to be back. As a big fella, so it's been almost 2 years since we were here. Now, those people who haven't heard your journey before, I got to interview you around about 2 years ago when we were here. We got into a bit of the details of how you entered the industry and so forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that link inside if you're watching this on Spotify and YouTube if people want to take a deep dive. But give us the highlight package, and more importantly, tell us currently about Carlson Hizon, because there's so many parts of this gym. It's like a labyrinth when we walk in.
Yeah. I think that was always my goal, and to just have more than just that one branch or just be known for one thing. I wanted that big studio community feel and make it a one-stop shop in a sense for my community. So fast forward to today, we've expanded our facility again. So we're now at 1,250 square meters.
1,250 square meters.
So from starting in my dad's garage, he kicked me out and out at the parks and all that sort of stuff. My first facility was 120.
So Garrett, your dad's garage.
Yep.
Park into your first facility.
120 square meters.
To now.
Yeah, it's amazing. And for people to put that into perspective, if someone's sitting there, they can't picture what 120 square meters looks like. Your typical sort of CrossFit box is usually about 400 square meters, right?
Yeah,
so you put three of those next to each other. And that's the facility. Probably bigger than most gyms around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the gym that I had was 860 square meters, and that was huge. It was big, so it's a big space.
Yes, it is a very big space. A lot of cleaning, but a lot of love.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing for us. We just wanted something that could make us do a lot of different things that our clients wanted, and that's just been my journey. Like, the end goal is still going. I'm still trying to reach it. I don't quite know where it is at the moment as well, because it's exciting just to be in it, and you name it, we pretty much have it in here. So that 120 square meters now has 2 indoor facilities, a Pilates reformer studio upstairs, a cafe, infrared sauna room. We're just about to launch our own independent recovery room. Hopefully bringing in a physio soon as well. Yeah. We've got a beautician, a massage therapist, a merch room. I don't know what else is there.
Fuck, it was a bit out the back there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a brand new.
Just a little bit out the back.
Yeah. I've got a brand new outdoor space now. So we've been running outdoor boot camps and a lot of outdoor workouts that are just fantastic to have that extra dimension to what we do. So in and around that, we've got PTs, classes.
And soon to open up is the amusement park.
Yeah, I got an amusement park coming. I'm heaps into Ferris wheels and stuff like that. So,
and with all these different
parts of the business, your model is that you'll own some of them, but not all of them. Is that right? You've got some sublease in.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how you came to do that. Okay, what was the reasoning behind that?
I think, very early on in my Trainer HQ journey, I really figured out that the business had to be bigger than me. And I also knew the life that I wanted, I couldn't be doing everything.
Yeah.
As much as I, potentially could, I knew I needed to find that harmony, that balance. So I've got rent-based models, commission-based models, sublease models in here. And just depending on the type of business that I'm bringing in, I just try to explore them. And that's been a benefit to me in terms of coaching my clients that come and want to start building a team. I think I've really worked the networks that I've had throughout all these years to find, the right people to be in this space, that add value to it. A lot of different types of models, but I'm just trying to find the ones that work for me and that in that particular type of business and contractor.
Yeah, that's so great. Cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously beauty therapy is a great example, right? We've seen the beauty room next door. You're not going to be doing that. I mean, you're beautiful.
Well,
you go, all right, that's not my area of expertise, but I can get in the right person, and that can be completely complementary because where are the beauty therapy clients going to come from? We've got a big list of people here. We've got a big database, and conversely, we can entice those people to come and try at the gym.
Yeah, people are into their health and fitness and wanting to feel better. It's also look better, take care of your outside and inside. So it's a great fit.
That was a big push for us. I think you all have kind of your niche areas that you try to draw leads from. Well, if I have 8 to 10 different businesses, different networks in this one umbrella, we can cross feed. Do you know what I mean? And it does the job for you. So with marketing, a lot of it is just sharing across socials, utilizing the promos that someone else is doing. And I just found that if I can have it in this kind of hub, it just makes the job easier. And then referrals have been huge for us. I think 90% of our lead generation is referrals, very heavily, especially in the community that I'm in Wollongong. And when you refer the right people, it's just going to come back to you. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. And hence why this is the model that I've created.
And almost 2 years ago when I did the podcast, I asked you back then, you hadn't done any paid advertising as such on socials and so forth. Have you ventured down that path now?
No. No, look, we're heavily into our Instagram. We're real creative in our private Facebook groups. There are 2 big lead generators. Our website's been launched since then, and we self-manage that. I'm very lucky to have a team, and my head trainer in here, Rob, that's his little bubble, that's his little slice of this. Thanks, Rob. And I'm very blessed to have that. And again, Rob does so much in that space for us. So Instagram, Facebook private groups, and our website has been our biggest thing.
Now, you're a man of stats.
Yes.
And, tracking everything because you can't, change or
make numbers are the
make
language,
moves without knowing that properly. I think I've heard you say in the past, in terms of classes and our capacities, you pretty much know where they're at, right? What's the latest with that? So with your classes, capacity-wise?
I think when we were in our smaller facility, I think it was just natural that our capacity was high. We sat for those 3 or 4 years at 90%.
Yeah, I remember I was going to say 85, 90%.
Yeah. So we've kept our retention is over 90%.
Yeah.
In terms of our class occupancies, we're probably sitting at that 80%.
Yeah.
Which is healthy.
Of available places in a class, in such a big facility with so many classes.
Easy to be at 90 or whatever if you've got like 120 square meters.
Yes,
right?
and we had 10 classes to get that stat. So we're now sitting anywhere from, I think we're at 21 to 22 classes. And each of them have different sizing and again, different contractors. And we're blessed that we're doing different styles of classes now. So 2 years ago, it was very much your circuit, boxing, type classes. We've now implemented mat Pilates. We've brought in meditation. We've brought in yoga. We have a CrossFit dedicated class, and we have a lot of your lower tier recovery style classes as well. So having that variety and still getting that high occupancy, showed the demand of what our clients want. Hence why the variety in our timetable. But it just shows the community backs us when we do put something forward, and I think that's
Then the retention's the other part that is important. You know, one, to have it, but then it's 90%, right? It's high. Where you might look at some other models where we know, even in the franchise space, where they might have maybe a greater intake per month of new sign-ups, but they've also got a equally high dropout rate to the point where sometimes they could be signing up 20 to lose 23. So this is where knowing your numbers, your figures, but it backs up all the work that you do, right, at the front end and delivery of service. And that's why if someone's watching this going, if you're not tracking your stats and figures across the board, then again, you just don't know what to change and what's working, what you're doing well and what you're not doing well. Because to have that retention says, well, you're delivering a shit hot product and service that make people want to stay.
Without paid marketing.
Without paid marketing.
Which is incredible. And back to what we were talking about with gyms, and this is in the pre-COVID era, we both know of a gym that we got privileged to the figures where their monthly targets to sign up was like 490 or something, right? For a month, right? But they were losing, it was like 480, you know? So it was like the reason why they had to hit so they could grow by 10. So like the numbers were unbelievable, you know? And that was month to month, you know? So imagine at the start of the month, all right, let's go. Like,
and that's I think with a lot of new clients I get, being a coach with you guys, a lot of them have these figures and targets. Like I want 60 PTs a week. I want 120, 150 members. And, when I do share my stats with them, they're quite amazed. And I always go back to the get, the keep, and the grow model, which we use quite a lot in Trainer HQ. And my focus is always the keep and the grow. Yeah. So I think there was a client I had towards the end of last year. They had 2 facilities. They told me that their member base, 120 in one and 160 in another. And they asked me, how many members do I have? You know, actively we have 60. 60 members, and we do about 60 PTs a week. But with our focus being on the keep and the grow, the average spend of each of my 60 clients has grown year on year. So when you look at our return, you know, 2 years ago we were sitting at about 6.5, 7. We're sitting at 10K weeks at the moment with 60 members. And 60 PTs.
Impressive how you got average spend and
and I go, so a lot of people just want the number. But they don't want what it actually means. And this client that had 120 and 150 in 2 facilities were averaging about 3.5 to 4.
We were just talking about our stats the other day, and you know, our average client stays with us for at least 2.5 years. But like you're a client for 6 or so years, coach now, but we were saying when we look at our re-signs and people who come back on, it speaks volumes to the service and what we're delivering. So not looking to get thousands of people coming through our high level program, but to cater 200 at a top end. But more importantly, have those people want to continue on year after year. Is that whole concept what you're talking about? Otherwise, if you replace 200 people every year because the value's not there, or you're not doing a good job.
The stats show it. Like in my background with hospitality, it costs more to hire a staff member than to keep a staff member.
To get a new client.
You know, and it might be reward, recognize, refer. That's what I use in my keep model. You know, if you reward your clients, if you recognize them continuously, that costs nothing on social media. We're doing a whole month of
I saw it.
Members minutes.
That's cool.
And the love that's coming from it, the awareness of different people and their story. It's a minute video every single day for this month.
And they're getting tagged in, and their friends,
they're getting recognized, they're sharing it. It costs nothing.
That's for the month of May.
For the month of May. And all we're doing is rewarding, recognizing, and they're going to organically refer, because we know keeping someone is gold. And continually trying to chase new leads. I mean, look, we're in a game of getting leads, and new clients and that sort of stuff. But our model has always been focusing on looking after our backyard, because they're going to look after us in the long run. So,
well, I think that's the problem a lot, is people do focus on the new lead, and they totally forget about you know what's going on right underneath their nose. You know, those who are making the community and creating that culture in the business itself. But it's like, oh, I've got to have the new fancy lead generation system, and how do we do this and how do we do that?
And then the other part is getting focused on a small percentage of people that might be pissing and moaning, which by the sounds of it, you wouldn't have many of them here.
That's not in our culture.
Get focused on that part, the people that are falling, and so it's like, instead of focusing on the people that are actually the loyal fans, because they're the ones that come in, they never piss, they never moan, they have a fat time, they can get forgotten about in a business, right? So from your guys' perspective, you're highlighting that, you're going, hey, these are our A players. Yeah. These are the people that built this community and this business. So.
And that's always been a focus. I mean, we sit down weekly and monthly, and besides the general admin stuff that we cover, we always talk about, where's this client at? What are these guys doing? How's this class running? And we've always prided ourselves on knowing everyone's name, knowing their partner's name, knowing what they're studying, knowing what they're doing. I think people throw the word community around quite a bit. And all you got to do is, you guys would know the people coming through the program, right?
David, that's exactly
their names. But it's that ability to know them a little bit more than just the number.
Yeah.
And I guess, that's just been our focus about that's what community means for us. We need to know who they are.
Yeah. So good. Now, you touched on coaching and your experience of it now. So tell us about, you've been a number of years now in the game of actually being a coach at Trainer HQ, looking after clients and so forth. Just touch on that. What's that experience been like?
It's been a huge journey. I think I've talked about it many times. It's just how much it means to me to be a coach, and to continuously try to give back to this industry that's blessed me for 13, 14, 15 years. I learn a lot from coaching clients.
Yeah.
I think the joy, but also the challenges that they bring me, and the challenges it is to try to turn a client that maybe isn't as compliant, maybe just doesn't want to listen, maybe wants the shortcuts. It's not my style. And I believe I'm really coming into my own these last couple of years with the clients that I've had, and just, again, the buck stops with them. The analogy I always use is, you're in the driver's seat. I'm just changing the music and the temp. That's all I'm trying to do. And if you're not willing to drive your business, what am I here for?
Yeah.
And I think you guys have seen the evolution. I always bring concerns and questions to you guys, but there's a bit more of a tough nut in me in that sort of sense, because I think that's what people need in a coach and a mentor. There's compassion, there's vulnerability, but at the same time, you got to push some buttons. And I'm really coming into my own with that. And I've got an amazing bunch of clients that are pushing that. And, they've coined it Hizon Hustle. And I love it. I love it. And they're all trying to one up each other. And and you got to hustle because you love it. And you got to hustle knowing that if you don't challenge yourself, you're just going to stay the same.
Yeah. We often talk about it. We see the subcultures developing. So we've got our 200 odd clients every year who come to our high level coaching programs. Then you got Carlson's group, you got Cal's group, Bradley's, Benny's, Kate's, and then we see inside those groups the interaction that every party has. So share with everybody about the challenge you recently took them through, the Google Reviews challenge. So just as an example inside your group.
I mean, look, I love healthy competition. We do it in our gym. All my trainers know healthy competition is great. And with my group, Rob and I had a goal for the start of the year to get to, our 100 plus Google reviews. And we go, we're just going to pull our finger out and start pushing and sending the messages. And I sat there, and I always send a Monday challenge to my team on Trainer HQ. And I said, hey guys, jump on board. Let's see who can get the most. Let's see what we can do, because we know Google reviews are golden. We know that, right? And I think by 7 days, we had over 150 new Google reviews across my team and within my business as well.
Nice.
So, and some of them had zero. Some of them knew nothing about it.
That's right.
Had to set up Google My Business.
And a lot of them thought it was, in a sense, too complicated or too hard. And this is where I just was straight shoot. I just sent them a text. Send them a message, put in the group chat, have the QR code sitting at your reception desk, and live that culture of reward, recognize, and refer. Reward them, thank them. And sometimes just a simple thanks so much for that is huge. And with ours, we got 30 plus that week.
That's massive.
And all it was from 2 phones, mine and Rob's.
Yeah.
I gave him 20 people to text. I had 20 people to text. That's all we did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't generic. It was personalized. Everyone's name.
Yeah.
Took us half an hour each.
Yeah.
And the return. So our last 10 leads and signups have all come from, I've asked them, where have you found us?
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah. Some good reviews. Yeah.
So good. And
So
that's
30
just one
minutes of-
example of many.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this coaching journey has been fantastic. Reflect back to when we were at the Millionaire Mindset Retreat, and Jace come and tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Mate, I think you're ready to become a coach, or consider starting the journey of what it takes to become a coach." What was that like, reflecting back to that a number of years ago?
Well, that mindset retreat was huge for me already, and I think it was one of the last nights. You guys came over with beers and go, "Here we go." I mean, usually you're taking the beers. I'm like, "Oh, I got one for me," and you sat me down, and I've shared this a lot. Like it was mind blowing. I thought you guys were having my leg a little bit. You know what I mean? But it was always something that I wanted. You know what I mean?
Be
I was just waiting for it. But yeah, that night was big. Like I always told Benny that I wanted something of that capacity. Coming from a hospitality background and what I do in my business, it is a lot about mentoring, coaching, that sort of stuff. But I didn't think I was at that level, to be honest. I didn't think, as all people, like we just think we're not good enough. We haven't got what it takes to do what we need to do for you guys. But when you sat there, I think that lit a fire. And that's why I chase it. I chase it every single time. When I get a new client, I chase it. And yeah, I think the time I've been with you guys as a master coach in my whole journey has been the most fulfilling.
Yeah.
Because I get to see it from both sides.
Yeah. Well, we've seen the change in the growth over that time. You know, so yeah, it's amazing just to watch. We see it like with all our team of coaches, you know, currently 12 coaches, including yourself, another 4 currently in training coming through. And what we notice is those people that are already at the top of their game, already achieving amazing results, got great businesses, now put themselves in a position to afford the time to be able to mentor and coach others out of passion. Like you don't actually need to do coaching, do you? You don't need to coach other people.
Right? Look, again, we're busy in what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're busy in CHF.
That's another question I'm about to ask too.
Yeah, busy in what we're doing, and coaching adds to that quite a bit. But if I wasn't passionate about it, if I didn't love it, and if I didn't want to chase it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and it keeps you at the top of your game. And
well, we say, like, I know I'm saying to you, I've got the habit now of telling people that are coming on board with us as new clients to really ram home, going, none of these guys and girls who work for us need to do this.
No.
They do it because it's had a profound impact on their life and their business. And there's a select few that then stick their hand up to go, I want to get back. And in that regards, going, so I'm basically saying, so if you join us, don't fuck around.
Yeah.
If you're not committed about this,
100%.
don't come and work with us. There's plenty of other, people out there that'll take on anybody, everybody in their group training or coaching. I said, but if I'm going to put you with one of our coaches, you better be bringing it, because they don't need to do this. They could be just doing their own thing that's running well. And since I've been doing that, I reckon it's made a difference. But it's good to say it too, because that's the reality. So when you brought it up then,
it's the truth.
What people don't realise out there is, like, our team in general don't need to do it. They want to do it. Versus maybe some other people. When you talk about not feeling like you're ready to become a coach, that's the problem, is that some people shouldn't be coaching out there who are and haven't had the experience. So you look at your journey. 13 years, what you did with us, be trained up, become a coach. That's the journey. If you're going to be working with someone who's a legit coach, not someone who's read a few books and go, I've got the gift of the gab, so now all of a sudden I'm going to become a business coach.
That's right. We unfortunately do see that. We see they throw in their group program, chuck 10, 15, 20 people on a Zoom call, charge an outrageous fee. Like it's unfortunate. Yeah.
So check out Google reviews. Any coach, I guarantee they won't have them.
So my question you were alluding to is, how the fuck do you do all this in the time you're like, because mate, you're passionate about this place. Tell us what's a typical day, for example, clock on, clock off, all that stuff.
I've always told myself that there's, as much as, I love being a personal trainer and group fitness coaching and all that sort of stuff, I wear so many hats. I'm a mentor and a coach to all my team and all the different businesses in here. I have my own bunch of PT clients that, I'm very passionate about. Businesses that I do run personally in here, again, I have to touch base with each of the independent teams there. I got to be the best brother I can, the best son I can. I got to be the best partner I can. I got to be the best basketball player that I can for my team. There's a lot. And my typical day is, early starts. I'm usually in about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I also have realized that I love the hustle. I love the challenge.
Yeah.
But I also know that there has to be other elements of my life that need to build and grow. So I do predominantly Monday to Thursday, 6 till 8 p.m. I do have middle of the days off.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't have in hospitality were lunch breaks. So I've got 2 3-hour lunch breaks every day.
Yeah.
That's what I've told myself. And Fridays are only a half day. And then I don't work weekends. Because in hospitality for 11 years, no weekends, no Christmas, no Mother's Day. Like anytime it was an event, I worked. So I knew what my boundaries were.
Yeah.
And I've got a team of amazing trainers that can look after the periods where I'm not here. And it took time. It built a lot of trust between me and my team to hand over the keys to my facility and trust them to do what needs to be done is huge. And I don't take that lightly. If you've got a set of keys for this facility, it means something to me. Do you know what I mean? And if you wear my banner and you speak what we speak and do what we do, it means something to me. Some people go, how do you do it? You have to be a bit crazy. You got to be a bit crazy.
You got to be a bit crazy.
Yeah.
You got to have a lot of pride in what you do. And pride for me is, when people talk about me, it reflects on everyone that is around me, from my family to my friends to my team. Like, we have a lot of pride because we don't want to let each other down. Yeah. So there's a lot of that on me. I put a lot of pride and pressure on myself to perform. And there was a saying, there's no such thing as high standards, just standards. And my standard is every day to show up. Every day to show up. I probably had 1 or 2 sick days in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Even in hotels, I probably didn't show up once or twice. So there's a hustle, there's a craziness to it, but you just gotta.
You're probably thinking what I'm thinking. We'll have people that'll can a meeting because they've got a bit of snotty nose, not feeling so well. So and this is before they've even joined the program, going, probably not going to make it. So they don't need to do an extensive, session with them to realise that that's your attributes.
That's your go-to. That's your
like if you're like quick to bail, quick to quit and give up, which is what you were referring to before.
So that doesn't sound like an outrageous amount of hours. You do your early start. No, you have that break. You come back. You do your afternoon shift. Meanwhile, you're connecting with all these various parts of the business. So very much like an octopus, you got these arms and these bit of energy here and so forth, and watching the various parts to it.
And I say you've got yourself to this point though, right? So I mean that's the thing I guess we can talk about as well. That's not how it started.
No.
To get to where you have the luxury to have that type of lifestyle and schedule when you've got other people helping you.
Yes. Yeah. And again, it goes back to business has to be bigger than yourself. And a lot of that is trust. But we've got a very tight-knit calendar that we all have access to. The guys know my time is precious. So if something's scheduled in, it's scheduled in. And I don't bend or break that. You know what I mean? The boundaries of when I'm not here. Like when I am away at events, for, you guys are on holidays, the guys know it's not me that you call. Unless shit's hitting the fan, it goes to my head guy. Rob is the guy you call. You know, if there's other things, other practitioners can be called and pushed on. And, I think you have to lead by example with that. I don't ask anything of my team. And I said this in hospitality as well. I don't ask anything of them that I wouldn't do myself. If I tell you to clean the toilets, because I've already done it. If I tell you to vacuum the floors, because I've already done it. A tight-knit schedule and working off a calendar, really understanding the importance of time and letting others know that your time is important is huge. And for me, if you don't want it enough, it's a very clear sign when you're cancelling or, I can't do this or I can't show up. If you don't want it enough, then don't. You don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to have, a bigger facility doesn't mean easier.
And you didn't step into that. Liz has grown, of course, all the labyrinth of all the different services you've started to tack it on. And, since we come here last time, you've added more parts to it. More parts. I'm assuming next time we come back, there'll
be some other stuff to it.
Another story.
Let's discuss the transition from full time into the industry.
Okay.
Because not only yourself done it, but you've had a lot of people you've coached.
Yes.
And I guess let's talk about what your observation, what it takes to do that.
A lot of fear. You got to be able to embrace that fear from something comfortable. Like, I built myself up to a really high position in hospitality and hotels. Like, I was headhunted to work in different higher facilities, and I ran three different faculties within the hotel. So I ran the restaurant, I ran room service, and I ran bars. Yeah. Each of them dedicating their own roster, their own team, their own dynamics.
How many staff under that roughly?
There was at the peak 150 plus. Yeah. I was the manager for that. And I loved the hustle. And I loved that I could step into one of them and do what I needed to do and delegate and get my hands dirty, then step out to the next and step out to the next. So I was pushing 70 plus hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a lot of fear of doing that for a decade. I left high school and that was me for a decade.
Yeah. Guaranteed salary.
Yep. Like, I was looked after well. I could roster my own week in a sense. But there was an itch. Yeah. There was a calling and there was a lot of people telling me no. And especially when it comes from people close to you too. Like, there was doubt from my family. There was doubt from my friends.
Yeah.
They all thought it was just a side gig. I was doing the whole hotel thing and running out doing PTs or running classes at night. My days were huge. So these days are beautiful today. You know what I mean? But there was an itch.
Yeah.
And I don't like not knowing what I had to do. And obviously there was financial concerns and will it work? Like, I've never run a business myself, always worked for someone, but I had the tools and I had to remind myself that.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of, you have to tackle the fear head on.
Yeah. And so that was 13 years ago you started as a PT, or you
so CHF has started 13 years ago.
Yeah.
I did my certs during my time in hotels, so about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I was doing a little bit here and there, but it was all hospitality.
And 13 years ago, we started with your outdoor boot camps.
Camps and stuff.
And out of those 13 years, how many years did you go into the facility?
I was about six years in.
About 6 years in.
Yeah. So I was juggling.
That was about the time we met.
Yeah.
Because you just literally, I think when we started working together, you'd just taken over that first place, or
the space,
it was in
the
space.
The space fell on my lap.
Yeah.
I think I was in the contract negotiation, and again, we were at the fitness expo.
Yeah.
From there, we went to that 2-day event, and that's when that fear was at its most.
Yeah.
You know,
real.
I took my long service leave. You know, I had the facility in the palm of my hands. I've never signed a contract that big before in my life.
Yeah.
And I needed help.
Yeah.
I needed help, and I was scared to ask for help. Like I said, that story's been told a million times, but I didn't want to take on you guys in terms of business coaching. I didn't want any of that stuff. I'm like, I'm just going to be a gym. You know, how hard could it be? In a sense, right? Like, do I need a business coach? Do I need the systems? Do I need that? So there was a lot of me being very naive. There was a lot of ego as well, wanting to do it myself. And it was hard for me to ask for help. And it wasn't until that 2-day event where you guys were presenting and there was just stuff that was just like, I still have the notebook of the day that I went for that first 2-day event. It sits in my desk in my office, and I filled the whole notebook with stuff.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, it makes sense. I got to let go of ego. I got to be vulnerable and go, I'm not good enough for this at this moment. I need the help. And I got to get rid of my safety blanket. Yeah. My safety blanket was hotels. At that stage, my safety blanket was hotels, and I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I love everything you've been talking about. You used the word hustle, and I talk to people about, if you don't see pressure, challenges, and healthy stress as a privilege, you won't be successful, because with success comes a lot more of those things, right? So now you've got to manage people. You're responsible for this, responsible for that. So I go, if you're not geared up that way, or you can't get yourself to be resilient enough or patient or have courage even though you're fearful, you're not going to become successful, because unless you can handle that bit, that stage where you're growing, because if you had all the tools and attributes,
you'd already be there.
Professionally and personally, you would be there already, but you're not. So there's no way that version of you can then go and run $100,000, $500,000, $1 million business. You've got to grow into it. And there's only one way to do that.
Yep.
And that's go through it. Yep. Take those opportunities and chances, but also, develop yourself, which is what you did, right? To now where you can sit here and go, well, this is what it is like now. Yeah. People see that. Yeah. But like most people, if you played the movie, probably wouldn't be up for it. Because people want what they see as the end result. Yeah. But if you went, okay, well, let me play a video of the last 10 plus years or what it took me to get there. Oh, okay, maybe not. And that's what you said about, I say to people, if you're half in, half out, business is not for you. You're rather going to stop smoking or you're going to keep smoking. I'm kind of want to build a business. I'm kind of trying to build it. It's rather you are or you're not. If you're in the middle, fuck off. Don't be in a job, because it's going to be agonising.
It's going to be painful.
It's going to be agonising for you.
Yeah, I think pressure's got to be a friend. You got to treat pressure like a friend. I think my team will say it, and even my teams in hotels, when it was go time, that's where I elevated. That's where I loved it. And that's where the crazy came out. I had run sheets ready to go. Like if we looked at Christmas, I had to run Christmas breakfast, lunch, dinner out of 3 facilities. So that's 9 events ran on one day. So 9 people I had to delegate to, 9 different rostered teams. I love it.
Well, you only know yourself when you're under pressure. You truly get to know what you're about when you do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's being asked to speak at the end of your event,
that was pressure.
Or whatever the next thing is. But it is. It's a privilege, It's a good opportunity to rise up, right? And most people say they want it, but they avoid it.
Yeah, and then buckle when it arises.
Yeah. So
there's that, like Ben said it to me very early on. Be careful what you wish for. When we set out the goals and where we wanted to push over our coaching journey, he just goes, "Be careful what you wish for." And I do remember multiple times where I've just been on the phone with him, going, "Yeah, it's happening." And I feel the pressure. And he's just there, take a breath. I'm like, all right. And he goes, remember, you asked for this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they get faced with exactly what they asked for, and they're not prepared to do the work that is required of it, and the action and the measure and remeasure. I'm all about measure, remeasure. How can I do that better? Because I want to face it again and again and again and again, and not quite feel exactly the same as that first time. I want to get better at it.
Yeah.
I want to get better at juggling a million things. Because it's not so much the result for me. I think if you ask about the stories and the stuff I coach and talk about, it's not the end goal. It's always been the ups and downs in the journey for me, because that's where I learn, that's where I can best teach, and that's where I get all these little anecdotes, and that's where all the prep is. That's where all the prep is.
And building all this experience. You're in it, you're in the journey, and again, 13 years down the track. And as we were saying before, like yourself, you see others who go to leave the security for full-time job, but again, half in. Of course there's fear, there's doubt, there's uncertainty, all the rest of it, but it's like it's going, hey, it's going to be hard work, right?
Yeah. And I think when you do get a Training HQ client that comes on board, and the first thing they do is we've had a few in the last couple of months, they tell you the whole big story, and this is where I'm going to be, this is the numbers in 6 months time. I love it, because I love that they've got that vision, right?
Yeah.
But then I want to know about their day to day. What are you going to do every single day? What are your non-negotiables every single day? What happens when this comes up? Because a lot of them I coach about, that contract fucked up. Council screwed me over here, right? Everyone thinks that this was 8 months of renovation.
During COVID, the
business.
You took it on during the...
What a time to be alive, hey?
We were sitting there and, I signed the biggest contract again in my life for this facility. I ran 2 facilities in unison, in a sense. We were renovating this. There are times I remember one day I finished at 4 a.m. in here, I had a 1 hour sleep and I ran the 6 a.m. class. Do you know what I mean? And my whole team thought I was crazy. We kept this as a secret.
Yeah.
Right? We wanted to give that as a gift to our community, as a thank you for staying with us over COVID. But yeah, that crazy came out, that hustle came out, and it wasn't the goal because I didn't know what this was going to be. Right? I didn't know what the end result was, but I just knew that if it's what works in one area will work somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the hard work, the effort, and the love that you put into something somewhere, if you reproduce that in all the other facets of your life, it's going to work.
Yeah,
it's going to work. And that's just been my mantra. I mean, just get it done. But I think someone asked me end of year event because I pitched this Hizon Hustle thing when I presented. And they go, and I said to them, hands down, I will outwork every single one of you. And everyone came at me at the dinner going, no way. And I go, there's one thing though. There's one thing. I'll outwork you if it means something to me and I love it.
Yeah.
Because they all gave me their examples. And I go, it means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best. But you go work hard every single day. But I'm only going to work hard if it means it's going to produce that feeling for me. It's going to benefit my team, benefit myself, my family, my friends. Yeah, I'll hustle hard.
Yeah.
But I'm not just going to hustle for nothing.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, there's a little thingy to that. And that was exciting for me to see how many people reacted to that at the end of year event.
Yeah.
And I get so many of them contacting me. And even if they're not my clients, they're still, and I think that's a beautiful thing with the THQ community, right?
Yeah, amazing. We see it. And in addition to all this, you're outside of building this business, is amazing facility. You take time to get to the events.
Yep.
You come to the Bali events. You come to the end of year events on the Gold Coast. Again, it's just like an extension on what you do because you make this shit happen. Yeah. So once again, just phenomenal to observe and watch, and then watch that growth. It's super cool.
That's just the investment, I think. People hear the word investment, they think money. Don't chase money. Chase time. And the more time you're around people that are trying to do what you do or have done it, there's no better investment. And
the key to commitment, involvement, right? No involvement, no commitment, right?
So you got to move things. You got to make stuff happen. Right? And I think on the first year on the program, I didn't get to events. I'm the first to say that to all my coaching clients. I got my first year on the program. I did all right. I did well. I didn't get to events though. From year 2 onwards, the rest speaks for itself. I got to the 2-day events. I got to the Millionaires Retreat. We went across to Bali. We did all that sort of stuff. And ever since then, again, Entrepreneur of the Year, Coach of the Year, nominations left, right, and center. But I get to go to all these events. That's the stuff that I remember. It's not the awards. It's the stuff that I've done to get to that.
We 17 years running this company, we see the same traits in all the people who won all those awards or excelling, and they're always the ones that get in and get involved, and the ones that sit back and kind of watch from a distance. Well, they might go all right, they might do all right, but all right, they don't excel. It's impossible if you don't get yourself around people that are playing at a higher level than you for you to grow. If you're isolated, if it's just you you want to be around those people who are always aiming to be better. And so it's not a secret, right?
That's right.
You want to be a better footy player? Well, go and hang out with the top level players if that's an opportunity for you to do so.
And how did we make this business? It was the impact it had on our lives, right? So 25 years ago when I got my first business coach, it was the turning point for me, right? Yourself. It's like we're all impacted in a way, and we go, fuck, this is good. I need to share this with others, right?
That's right.
It's phenomenal. Love it, man. I could listen all day and Carlson talk.
Well, I think it's that thing when you've again, the benefit of what we do is not just having someone come in 3 months and then we never see them again. We get to witness people's journey over 5, 6, 7 years and the growth. That's the part that we hold value the most. We always say the money is great because you need it and it's important and it corrects your lifestyle, freedom and all the rest of it. But watching, all of us grow. All of us over that time is the part we'll go to our grave remembering. Go and look at that, look at who they become and look what they achieve and all the people you're helping now in your community, your personal life. But people you coach, you can't put a price on that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's that definition of success for me, is how many people you influence. And, you know, I had another mentor of mine come up and he goes, what's the value? What's your business? How valuable is it? And he goes, you want to see what my value is? You know, and you expect him to pull out his bank account. He put his phone on the table, slid down. He probably had 1,000+ contacts. He goes, pick one and ring it. And he goes, if they don't answer within 5 rings, they'll call back within 5 minutes. I picked one, bang, answered. Did it again, bang, answered. Yeah. He goes, when you have that influence on people, because success is best shared, and it's how many people you can influence. That's what I'm chasing.
Yeah.
You know, it's the networks, and it's why our business of CHF and why my team is what it is, because it's that. It's the ability to rely and call on and use each other's value. And if you can give that to someone else, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's going to come back. So,
yeah, phenomenal. The ripple effect. We watch it. Hey, we watch it all across. You watch it with your clients. You go out there, you create a more successful business. You impact more people. It's not only their lives that get changed. It's the people around them, their friends, their family, their community, and it just keeps going. You know, I like that part. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. It was our mission from the start. It wasn't ever going to just be about us, you know, and that's what's good to see unfold. And when we're like 90 and we're about to hang it up or whatever, like, you know, there's guys like you, Brad D, me, D, Lauren, you know, Kate, the whole crew that are out there, you know, spreading the work that's making a difference. So it's cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, on that point, how do we wrap this up? But I mean, I just want to speak and say, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here. You know, being part of your journey, witnessing it, and being in this fucking amazing place is just so cool. So I feel privileged.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this or watch it, and you know, watching it, either one, you know, check out and follow these guys on, I guess, Instagram's the best.
Instagram, Facebook,
just so you can see what great looks like. I used to say good, but this is great. What great looks like.
This is great.
If you want to see what you guys are doing as a great example, I definitely would tune in and follow along.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, brother man. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in to the Trainer HQ podcast, and we want to thank Mr. Carlson Hizon, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.